Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Monday, September 12th, 2022. And we begin with elaborate plans announced for the final celebrations of Queen Elizabeth's remarkable 70-year reign. Today, well-wishers are paying their respects in Edinburgh, Scotland. Tomorrow, the remembrances move to London, England, where the pageantry will grow in size and scope. The Queen will lie in state at Westminster Hall starting Wednesday and remain there until next Monday. As many as 50,000 people a day are expected, creating a line of mourners 3 miles long. The honors will culminate a week from today when the Queen is laid to rest at Westminster Abbey. Hers will be the first state funeral in the United Kingdom in more than half a century, the last being for Winston Churchill in January of 1965. 21 years ago, Americans pledged to never forget, and they haven't. Flags flew and remembrances were held all around the country yesterday to memorialize the events of September 11th, 2001, a now infamous date in U.S. history. The terrorist attacks in New York City and Washington, D.C. reverberated around the world, including at Buckingham Palace in London, England. There, out of sympathy for Americans, Queen Elizabeth ordered the Royal Guard to break a 450-year-old tradition in order to play the U.S. national anthem during the changing of the Guard. Many in the crowd, Brits and Americans alike, were moved to tears by the song and the sentiment behind it. Until that moment, another country's anthem had never been used unless during the state visit of a world leader. Baseball fans, brace yourself. New rules are coming. The league voted last week to speed up the game by adding a pitch clock, which would cut down the time between pitches and between batters. When added to the minors, it reportedly reduced the length of a game by about 26 minutes. Also approved, new, larger bases. The size is moving from 15 inches square to 18 to accommodate the bigger feet of today's players. And going forward, field players will shift less. According to CBS Sports, allowing fewer defensive shifts means more balls will find open spots, leading to a higher batting average and more action. The new rules kick in next year. NASA isn't giving up on the month of September to get its massive moon rocket off the ground. It's now considering the 23rd or 27th if it can get to the bottom of its hydrogen leak problem. The agency also needs clearance from the U.S. Space Force, which, given the new possible dates, must certify that residents of the launch area will be safe, even if something goes wrong. In between the 23rd and 27th, NASA will be busy on another front. On Monday, September 26, engineers will intentionally slam a spacecraft into an asteroid to push it off course. The mission is designed to test the agency's ability to someday divert a space rock that might be on a collision course with Earth. In today's KidNuz notes, cereal bathed in water might sound like a nasty combination, but Kellogg's is trying to change hearts and minds. It just released on-the-go individual bowls of dry cereal that also contain powdered milk. Just add water and stir, and according to the company and CNN, the milk rehydrates and poof, you've got a typical bowl of flakes, loops, or jacks. For those who want a plant-based powdered milk option, that's reportedly in the works too. Merriam-Webster is catching up with today's kids. The dictionary has just added Yeet, which, as everyone listening knows, means something is cool. Janky, for when something is anything but cool. MacGyver, to fix something on the fly, and pumpkin spice, which pretty much speaks for itself. That's it for KidNuz. Now our KidNuz quiz. When will Queen Elizabeth II be buried? A week from today at Westminster Abbey. What did Americans pledge to do after 9/11, 2001? Never forget. When will baseball's new rules kick in? Next year. NASA might try again to launch its moon rocket on what dates? September 23rd or 27th. In today's KidNuz Kicker, Yesterday, for those who might have missed it, was National Grandparents' Day. The idea dates back to 1969 when 9-year-old Russell Capper sent President Nixon a letter suggesting that a day should be set aside in order to celebrate all of America's nanas and pop-pops. It took a while, but then President Carter officially signed the proclamation in 1978. Before we go, we want to shout out our teachers, starting with Mrs. Scott and Mrs. Snow at Rachel Carlson Elementary, where it's a great day to be a Falcon in Sammamish, Washington. Mrs. Martin, Mrs. Lesher, and Mrs. DeFondonato and their Yetis at Reunion Elementary in Commerce, Colorado. Mr. Felix and his Bobcats at Bryant Middle School in Dos Palos, California. And Mrs. Garcia and her Bobcats at Stone Oak Elementary in San Antonio, Texas. Thanks for listening. Please rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you back here for more Kid News tomorrow morning.